What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Truckin' with Tuffy. So today we're going to take a load of yogurt from Elko, Nevada to Sacramento, California. You'll notice that the truck, I've changed the paint job. I was surfing around in the mod shop. There it is. That's a better view of it. I was surfing around in the mod shop the other day and I saw that somebody had made a Bandit paint jobs from Smokey and the Bandit. I thought that looked pretty cool on the truck, so that's what I switched it over to. So not really much going on just on the 4 days off, so it's time for a video. So let's jump into our truck and let's get going here. This load is a little bit lighter, it's a little bit shorter, it's not as big and long as some of the other loads that we've taken. And this is just going to be just a quick little short drive. Shouldn't take us too long at all. So the channel is kind of starting to evolve a little bit. Threw up a naval action video yesterday. I love playing naval action. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Really excited to get those up and going. Biggest problem with naval action is that, you know, there's no such thing as a short video with naval action. You know, with World of Warships, I can throw up a video and it's 10-15 minutes long. With naval action, they can take quite a bit of time. They can take half an hour, 45 minutes. So I'm just going to check the map because I want to make sure that the game doesn't take us these weird, crazy routes. And it looks like it's pretty much all highway. We're going to go through Anahuaca, Reno, Truckee, and finally into Sacramento. But I just want to make sure that it doesn't take us down some like goofy little side road like it did last video. But anyway, so naval action, you know, the battles in naval action can take anywhere from half an hour to 45 minutes. So they're time-consuming battles. I mean, like I said in the video, if you've watched the naval action video, I have had battles where battles took the full hour and a half, especially really, really big ones. So that's a video series I'd like to get up, but only if I can kind of keep it under control, I think. You know, like I can here with American Trucking Simulator, I can kind of keep the videos down to 20 minutes to half an hour. So yeah, so working on some World of Warships content for the channel. Haven't had a lot of good games lately. I've had good games where I get a lot done, but I end up dying at the end of the battle. And you know, that's just no fun. That's no fun to watch a battle where I end up getting blown up. So I want to start putting up battles where I actually survive. I need to start being a little bit pickier about the content of my World of Warships. In other World of Warships news, the German battleships are getting ready to come out. The EU and North American testers, community contributors, which are YouTubers like Jingles and other YouTubers who have had a very massive impact on the game itself, do have their hands on the German battleships. Of course, there is a non-disclosure agreement in place until, you know, such and such a date, so they can't talk about them. They can't show footage of them, and they certainly can't live stream them until a certain date comes around. But I did have a couple of battles today where I ended up playing with and against the German battleship line. So I'm hoping that as this goes on, because I'm really excited about the German battleships, I'm hoping that as this goes on, that maybe I can find a decent video where I either tangle with one or fight alongside one, that I can finally show you guys the German battleships. Other news, not much is going on. 4 days off, you know, the coveted weekend, if you will. So not much I'm going to do. Gonna go hang out with a friend of mine tonight. I think we're gonna go see a movie. Probably gonna go catch Suicide Squad. It's getting some pretty negative reviews from the critics, but the users seem to like it. You know, a lot of people, if you go onto Rotten Tomatoes, I think it has like a 19% from the critics, but it has like a 75% from audiences. And you know, there are people out there that treat Rotten Tomatoes like it's the end-all be-all review, the definitive source for, is this a good movie? And you know, it's really not. Critics go in there and they put in a score for the movie, and there's a software that computes and puts those different scores into an average and comes up with a percentage. And critics really seem to be hating on this movie, but the audiences are really loving it. It's had one of the biggest opening weekends at $80 million in the month of August ever, and it's grossed almost $200 million worldwide, I believe. And that's just within a few days of the movie having come out. It came out on Thursday. Now, to give you kind of a perspective on the bias that can happen, the Ghostbusters movie, which we're really not going to get into that, but it's a train wreck. It's an absolute train wreck. Audiences absolutely despise everything about this movie. In fact, it's so widely panned across the board that anybody who comes out and says they like the movie is automatically, attacked on YouTube or attacked on Twitter for having been paid off by Sony to say that they liked this movie, because the general approach, the general mindset is that there's no way anybody can like this movie because it's just so bad. The plot is horrible. The jokes fall flat. Now, I haven't seen the movie, so anything that I'm telling you about it is just from reviews that I've heard off of YouTube or reviews that I've read on, say, IMDb. But the Rotten Tomatoes score for Ghostbusters for the critics is like 58%, and the users are like bringing it in. The audience is bringing it in at like 12%. So it's just, that's that difference. The critics are saying that they really like this movie and that it's a really good movie, and the audiences are like, no, it really isn't. So that's why I do research when I go look at a movie. I read reviews, but I read audience reviews. I do not read critic reviews. And the reason why I don't read critic reviews is because I don't trust them. And the reason why I don't trust them is not because I don't. I do believe there is a little bit of, hey, I'm from Sony. If you say you like this movie, there might be something in it. I do believe that there is a little bit of that kind of like shady, underhanded dealing that goes on in Hollywood, because it's Hollywood. It's, it's the single fakest place on the planet. But, if you get somebody who... Everybody has their own types of movies, I like comedies, I like action movies. I love a good action movie, and I love a good comedy. Even, anything from, a movie like The Holiday, where it's that kind of romantic comedy, to something by the Farrelly Brothers. Dumb and Dumber is one of my favorites. Airplane is another one of my all-time favorite comedies. So I go from that subtle kind of humor to that slapstick Leslie Nielsen kind of comedy. But the one genre of movie that I cannot really stand is sports movies. The reason why I don't like sports movies is because at least I feel, that there's never any original content that comes out of a sports movie. It's all the same plot over and over. Sometimes they'll kind of break the mold, I guess, and, insert racial issues in there. There was, but the plot of every sports movie that comes out is generally the same. Here's the underdog team who fights through adversity to overcome the obstacles and win the state championship or the national championship. Now there are exceptions. Rudy is one of my all-time favorite movies. I actually got to Rudy Rudiger. Daniel E. Rudy Rudiger is actually a motivational speaker, and he came to my hometown, and so I got to go hear Rudy give a speech, give a motivational speech. Got his autograph, got my picture with him. It was really cool. The Replacements with Keanu Reeves and Gene Hackman, absolutely hysterical movie. Less about the sports, more about the characters, and I felt like that was okay. Truck, thanks for stopping in the middle of the road, jerk. Of course, in his defense, he can't really go anywhere, so we're gonna go around him. But so there are exceptions to my sports movie hatred, dislike. I don't say hatred. I don't hate sports movies. They're just movies. They're not my thing. Some people, worship them. Some people, you go to their house and their entire movie library is nothing but We Are Marshall and Remember the Titans. But, because I don't like them, and getting back to the critics thing, because I'm not a big sports movie goer, if I worked for a newspaper and a new movie came out, and that's their job. As movies come out and they go see new movies. It doesn't matter if it's their type of, thing whatsoever. But you know, if they were like, hey, there's this new movie coming out and you need to write a review on it, and I looked it up and oh, it's a sports movie, I'm gonna walk into that movie, I'm gonna be like, ugh, I really don't want to be here. I don't like sports movies. I'm not interested in seeing it. So I'm going to sit there with kind of a sour attitude, and you know, I'm going to pick the movie apart, because for me personally, there's not one thing that is enjoyable. So if you take a reviewer, a critic, who loves romantic comedies and their favorite movie of all time is The Notebook, and you send them to see Suicide Squad, probably not going to give it a fair shake. I'm just going to go out there. I'm going to see how long my guy needs. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Let's pull in here and sleep. But I'm probably not. You know, they're probably not going to give the movie a fair shake, because not through their fault of their own or through some kind of a bias. But you know what? It's just not their type of movie. That's not the type of movie that if they had the choice to go pay to see, that they would go spend their hard-earned money to go see. So they don't give it a fair shake. They don't want to be there. So they generally walk into it with a pretty negative attitude. See if we can get in here. Been having some problems with the rest stop parking areas lately, where the truck, you pull it in and nope, there we go. Hey, all right, so let's get this guy sleeping. We only got a couple hours left on this job, but I don't think we were gonna make it. All right, air pressure's good. So, yeah. So I'm going to go see Suicide Squad. Just from the previews, it wasn't really a movie that I was like all that excited to see. I know who some of the Batman villains are. Like, of course, everybody knows who Harley Quinn is. And the Joker is in the movie, and there is a Batman scene in the movie. Of course, it's not a Batman movie. It's more about the Suicide Squad than it is Batman. But Ben Affleck is in the movie as Batman. And Jared Leto is the Joker, and of course Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn, the Joker's main squeeze. But it's getting some pretty good reviews. People who have gone and seen it said that they generally liked it. In fact, I mean, in money, you know, the amount of money that a movie makes is really no reflection on whether or not the movie's good. Movies can make tons of money and still be horrible. The Twilight movies were some of the most abysmal, god-awful abominations I've ever seen crafted to celluloid. And they made buckets of money, and they have legions of loyal fans that will defend those cinematic excrements to the day they die, which is fine. That's their prerogative. But so movie making money does not mean that it's a good movie. But the audience reviews of it have been ridiculously positive, so I'm kind of excited to go see it, give it a chance. It is a continuation of Batman versus Superman. There are moments in plot that I won't really give away, but you know, basically the basic premise is that they sit down and, you know, Superman. If you haven't seen Batman versus Superman right now, beware spoilers ahead. So after the death of Superman in Batman v Superman, they sit down, and of course we've kind of come to this, you know, as opposed to being skeptical to Superman, the government has sat down and been like, well, wait a minute, okay, so we abused him while he was here, but now he's gone. So what happens if somebody crops up that, you know, could pose a big problem? What happens if another one of these metahumans, you know, what happens if Wonder Woman decides she wants to go crazy? So that's how they form the Suicide Squad, and the Suicide Squad is basically there because they're a bunch of bad guys. They're people that the government doesn't really care about. They're basically there to go on suicide missions, and if they fail or if anything bad happens, then the government can just, you know, step back and be like, well, you know, they're bad guys. That's what they do. They're kind of the patsies. So that's kind of a cool concept. I love that they're continuing the universe, because DC is just desperate. DC and Warner Brothers are desperate to make a franchise out of the DC universe, in the same tune to the success that Marvel has had. In fact, Guardians of the Galaxy that opened up a few years ago, Suicide Squad recently surpassed it in terms of, you know, biggest opening weekend ever. And Guardians of the Galaxy was one of my favorite Marvel movies, really, up until Civil War. Yeah, Civil War was great. But yeah, so got that planned. other than that, not much. I need to, after this, stop screwing around. I need to go adult. I gotta go change out my laundry. So, you know, fold it, put it away, all that crappy adult stuff. But I just wanted to be able to jump on here and do a video real quick for everybody. It's been about a week since we put a trucking video up. I want to try to put one up every week. They are getting some views, but the response is not overwhelmingly stellar. But, you know, you have to chalk that up to the fact that I am a ridiculously small fledgling YouTube channel. My videos are just now starting to pop up in the feed for suggested videos. So if somebody watches a lot of squirrel, they're going to see my videos pop up. The Truckin' with Tuffy series. Same thing, you know, people who follow Jingles or any of those other players that play World of Warships or World of Tanks, you know, they're going to start seeing my World of Warship videos popping up in their feed. So, you know, I'll keep doing the Truckin' with Tuffy until I start getting comments that people are just like, this was the biggest waste of time. Thanks for killing 20 minutes of my life. I should sue you for it. You know, and at that point I'll just stop putting them up. But for now I enjoy doing them. I'm having fun doing them. So I think we'll just keep Truckin' with Tuffy going here. I am thinking about maybe next week with Truckin' with Tuffy. I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a Euro Truck Simulator video, so you guys can see Euro Truck Simulator. You can see the game that started it all with my ridiculous simulation obsession. Wondering if I should or should not put up a train simulator video. I do have, I'm not going to lie, I have a bit of a problem finishing some of those tasks for Train Simulator can take quite about a time. They can take up a couple hours. I've had one or two of them that take up 2-3 hours. So I'd have to chop up the video, break it up into different parts, and I'm just not sure, you know, that I'm ready to do that. I love the game. I just, you know, usually after an hour of playing the game and going through everything, I usually start to lose interest in it. I want to go play something else, like, you know, Naval Action or World of Warships, something that's a little more action-packed. The European videos or the European simulations can be fun because Europe has such a ridiculous train, you know, rail infrastructure, that both passengers and freight. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe that is a game that I will keep for me. I think I'm going to clip that concrete. Nope. Because we're almost to our destination. It's just down the street at this Walmart here. So I'll start wrapping up my incomprehensible ramblings. There it is, Walmart. Everyday low prices, folks. Everyday low prices. If you ever want to feel better about yourself, go to Walmart. I swear to God. Alright, so we gotta go. Looks like we're going to the left here. So we're gonna have to take this guy in kinda hard and then see if we can creep it around this side. Might take out that pole. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like we might creep on by. There we go. Alright, so let's get this trailer into the parking spot. I was so mad at myself the other day. I finished a job, big long haul, finished the job, parked the trailer, and completely forgot to press T, logged out of the game. So I lost all the money. I was supposed to get like 26 grand for the job, and I lost it all. So, here we go. Let's press T. Get those trailer legs lowered. Alright. So today it was just a quick 388 miles. Took us about 23 minutes. We only consumed 51 gallons of fuel, which when you have a 300-gallon tank isn't much. And so that's our 34th World of Trucks contract completed. We got $8,700. So whoopee. But plus side, we're almost to level 33. So we'll be able to tack another skill onto our truck, or onto our driver, and keep moving on up. All right, so that's that. There's my beautiful Kenworth with the Bandit paint job. I think that's a pretty sharp looking paint job. The modder did a great job with it. So that's it for this episode of Trucking with Tuffy. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead and hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the video if you want to keep seeing more. All right, folks, take care.